Howdy, folks, and welcome to another day in the Milky Way, at least for all of us. But tonight we are here to honor our friend ISBE, Ken Vaughn. And if you didn't know, he passed the other day. I got it here. Somebody sent it to me, and I tell you, it was really sad to hear. I kind of hadn't heard from him in a while, but tonight we're going to honor him and play some stuff. But I have Nina the Mystic with me and Delabor Stucci tonight, and there'll be more people coming in, I hope. And if you guys want to come in and talk,
Reminisce.
yeah, reminisce, say something you know about ISBE. You're more than welcome. I will post the link here in the thing. If you didn't get it, I did send out links to a lot of people. Like I said, you don't have to come on for a long time. Just come on, say your piece. I mean, I know we all live far apart. I know ISBE always wanted to go to these different places. That's all he ever talked about was how he wanted to load up his van. He had a Honda van, and he wanted to load up and go and spend his last days visiting everybody. But
I believe he lived in Arkansas, right?
nope, Florida, Florida. He was a Florida
Florida.
guy.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
little far away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
hmm
Yeah, yeah, and he always wanted to go, and his van was
hmm
kind of broke down. Then once he broke his hip or leg or whatever it was, but uh, yeah, Grandpa Brian, I wouldn't have missed this one. Robert V got to meet him twice. Oh well, good
That's
deal.
right.
Grandpa Brian, I did send you a link if you want to come in and say something about him. Anyway, I appreciate everybody for coming. Delmore, what do you know about ISBE? And I know you got to be on Andromeda 7 once with him.
Yeah, he came on one of our shows. I forget exactly which show that was, but yeah, he was definitely a well-rounded, interesting kind of guy. He named himself Isby based on a term used in a book called The Alien Interview, which Wayne Steiger also covered. Independently of that fact, I had read that book about 20 years ago, and it's
Mhm.
the purported record of a series of interviews that they did with this alien being that they recovered in Roswell back in
Mhm.
1947.
Mhm.
And he describes like the evolution of consciousness into a living human being, and he calls these human beings isbies. So basically, an isbie is just a synonym for a human being. So he liked it. He liked that term, so he started calling himself Isby online.
That
And
that is true. I remember that because I was just getting into that, and I got the book and I read that book with Wayne,
mhm,
and because he inspired me to read that, and then Isby came along, and I'm thinking, well, this is a little weird, he's Isby, and then I found out, that he was doing that over the book, and I thought, well, that is just really profound, but he
mhm.
is. He is
Well, it's it was a kind of a strange book. I mean, I read it almost to the end, but I got really turned off by the fact that this being named Errol, I believe, AIRL, she starts talking about like taxation, like among the alien races that they have like taxes, and I'm like, wait a minute, this just does not ring true to me, and this was right about the time when I started losing my belief in so-called aliens and
really. See that
extraterrestrials. Yeah,
that's the part that made me realize that the book was real. Ain't
I
that
don't
weird?
know.
Be,
Yeah,
be,
interesting. Hmm
because of the fact that that brought it to realness with me. Because everything is usually, no matter where you go, put it this way,
hmm
if you go any country, there's a higher pecking order. No matter what you do, there's always everything is kind of always the same in a different format. But what are the constants here? Life, death, and taxes.
Well, yeah, this is true, but there's ways that especially these rich countries like let's say the UAE. the residents of those countries don't have to pay taxes because the government makes money off things like oil or other natural resources. Usually it's oil, but sometimes those natural resources are things like the fact that they're a tax jurisdiction, like let's say the Cayman Islands. Well, sure, nobody pays taxes over there, but if you go to like a grocery store there and try to buy like a can of coffee, it runs you like $50, because
Yeah.
the taxes on goods and what do you call that in the United States? Sales tax is so high, so they got to get their money somewhere somehow
Hmm.
to
Yeah.
finance the operation of their government or whatever.
Well, and that's what makes sense. You got to figure if you're an advanced society, you're still going to need to fund the system, and you got to do it some
Well,
way.
you know what the futurists always say, in the future, nobody will be working, AI will have taken over, all the machines will be run and maintained by AI, intelligent, anthropomorphic, humanoid computers, and we'll just sit back and play video games or something and watch movies.
And that sounds really good, but um, with all the UFOs and everything like that, and you'd think those advanced cultures would have just had robots then. And where's their AI? Why
Yeah.
are they still using people or animated objects, or even with the ISBE thing on that book?
Hmm.
Why were they still going? Why didn't they have computers and robots and AI running it all?
Yeah. Good question. Exactly.
Maybe
Uh,
they went through that phase where AI took over and they went, "Oh crap." And then, you know, but yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
this is enough for this could be a whole nother show. Let's do that next week. Anyway, we could just review the alien interview. I never knew you read that book, which I
I
imagine
did.
you read a whole I did too. I thought that was fascinating. So okay, but let's get back to the ISBE thing. Nina, what do you got for with ISBE? I know you had him on your show. He won the prize for the best wizard.
Yes. Yeah, he was on my Halloween show 2 years in a row. I think you all were, actually. I think you've been there too.
Oh yeah,
And
of course I was.
yeah, it's kind of funny. He did win something last year, and I posted up a little clip from that on my channel yesterday, just that
Yeah.
little clip. And so, as you can see, I got my little ISBE. I don't know if you can tell there, but that's my little ISBE candle holder
Hmm.
and incense
Hmm.
holder. And I was, as you saw in that clip there, I told him, I said I named him ISBE after him.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's kind of eerie,
Well,
to be
why
honest
we're
with
doing
you.
that? Maybe not every. Huh?
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I didn't hear what you said. I talked over you.
See,
I
yeah,
was gonna say it was kind of eerie because I had a feeling that he was gonna pass,
Yeah, I know.
but he
I
didn't want to
I
say
haven't heard
anything.
from him for quite a few days, and
No,
or
I
a
knew way
while.
back then, like way back
Yeah.
then already. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you kind of got the inside view of
Well,
interview.
yeah. Sometimes you know things you don't want to know, So
Yeah.
I was avoiding doing any readings for him because it just makes it awkward. Like I don't want to be the one that's.
Yeah.
So, but hey,
Yeah.
Grandpa.
And there's Grandpa Brian.
hey, what's happening, Grandpa Brian? See,
So do you
I
oh
mostly
go
talk to
ahead.
ISB. I would mostly talk to ISB using Discord because back then,
Ah,
about I don't know, up to about maybe 5 years ago, I was using it quite a bit. But then again, back then there was only one Discord that I was actively involved in, and then came like many, many more, and it turned out to be a huge waste of time, at least for me. And I kind of waned off of that. But when I was talking I used to always talk to ISB on, I think it was um, uh, uh, Dave Barry's Soul Tribe Discord server, which is still up by the way, except that nobody goes there anymore. And I remember we had this like really animated discussion one time where we were talking about smoking, and we were both smokers. And of course, I was on the pro smoking camp, having not only being a smoker myself, but also having been an employee of a major tobacco company in the past. And I was making the argument that smoking is not unnatural, that ancient caveman smoked, whether he wanted to or not. And
Mhm.
I cited the evidence that one time, me and my friends back in the 80s, we decided to go camping, but it was raining, and we found this old cave, and we set up camp inside the cave. And so we set up a fire, and we actually grilled some hamburgers and stuff. And you would not believe how much smoke we all inhaled, like even the ones among us that were not smokers. So I
Mhm.
was like, yeah, if caveman lived in actual caves and was cooking their meat inside caves, they would have inhaled like a ton of smoke, way more than you inhale from a pack of cigarettes. You know?
Mhm.
That is true because see, it was technically it's kind of dangerous to have that big fire in the cave because it heats the rock above your head, and
Yeah, we
then
didn't know. I
yeah, and then
know,
when it cools, that rock will fall down, kill you.
I
So
know.
that just tells you that the caveman wasn't in the cave cooking on a daily basis, smoking the fire, doing
Hmm.
all that. He cooked outside, or he didn't even he used the cave for other things, maybe
Yeah, but
storage or something.
even if you even if you make a fire outside, which we used to do a lot, in the woods of northern New Jersey, you get a lot of smoke inhalation. You come out of there
Mhm.
after a couple of hours smelling like smoke.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Um, but then again, people smoke their clothes to kind of wash them in a way. You can smoke them, so I suppose that was a way to keep clean in a crazy way.
Could
But
be.
yeah, I don't know much about that, but I know you can smoke your clothes to like disinfect them in a way or something
Uh-huh.
on that. Or see,
Smoke
Grandpa
out the
Brian.
bugs.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Grandpa Brian disappeared on us. Oh
Yeah, it
no,
looks
what
like it.
happened?
Back in
Maybe
action.
maybe he's having that
Or smoking
re
meat. That's what I
uh,
was thinking.
I hope
Smoking meat.
Smoking meat.
I hope he
That,
reconnects.
yeah, when
Um
you smoke meat, you preserve it. You not only
Mhm.
disinfects the meat, but it also
Right.
preserves it so you can
Yeah.
use it throughout the winter.
yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Ready to play that clip. So share screen. Here we go. And oh, I got to do that part. There we go. Let's just play this clip. This is now everybody. If you want to go over there and like and share this, this is
Okay, here
Nina's
we
channel.
go. Hey, there you are, Isby. How's it going?
It's wonderful. Good to see you all.
Yes, the wizard is back.
Favor be upon you all. Thank you for coming.
I don't know if you've noticed, but I have a wizard back here that's holding a candle, and he looks just like you. He's got the beard all the way down to his belly, though, and he's got the same kind of costume on that you're wearing there. So,
Yeah. Have his wand too.
Yeah, he's got a long staff, and then he's got his hand out where the candle is.
Yeah, I wish I could get me a staff.
Yeah, me too. I'm still searching for mine. Yeah, I know.
Well,
But yeah, I think
what kind of wood do I need?
I think I'm going to name him Isby. There you go. It's my little Isby statue over there. So.
Well, there we go.
Aw.
That was really good. I tell you, we're all gonna miss him. He was a little awkward on shows. I convinced him to come on and do the King Og story. He was so fascinated by that story, and I'm gonna get that up here and play it. Why don't you guys tell me anything else? I'm getting this up here for a second. I'll have the. Oh, that's where I put those. I made a folder for that.
Yeah, I say going back to Discord. I remember back in the Discord days. Yeah, I got booted off of there. So if you're wondering where my channel went, well, it wasn't me. I didn't do anything. But yeah, I remember talking to Isby there, and that's kind of where we were chatting. Usually, either that or Facebook, maybe chats. But. Or Patreon. He used to be a Patreon of mine as well. So, he was a supporter and really appreciated, everything that he did, So I'm going to miss his laugh for sure.
Yeah, Absolutely. He, Grandpa Brian, I don't know what happened to you, bad connection or something, but, you know, I was hoping
Yeah,
you'd get
he
the,
typically has a bad connection when he's
yeah.
up at the cabin.
I was going to say he's way out in the boonies. Yeah. So
yeah. If anybody else wants to come on, I'm putting the link in the thing. I sent out a few requests to people, links to people, but like I said, you don't have to come on long. You know, tell us your story about ISBE. And we'll welcome it. Let's see here. Even Courtney says, so sweet. Was always a kind man as well, sensitive being. He was.
Oh yeah.
Definitely was. Okay. I got another clip. Let's go with this. Now, some of these I got taped, so they go a little. I'm gonna skip all the reading stuff, and then we'll go to. Okay. Oh, hang on.
Hey, Lucky Stone.
And there's
What's
Lucky
happening?
Stone. Yeah. Oh, here I go. Sneeze again. Sorry.
hey, Lucky.
And share audio. And here we go. All right. And this was with beginning of
this meeting is being recorded.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another day in the Milky Way. Believe it or not, we're here and we're gonna present you with a great book tonight. Me and ISBE. Welcome, ISBE. Thank you for coming on the show. I'm so thrilled that you're here.
Thank you for having me. Hi, everybody. Much favor be upon everybody.
And as everybody comes in and joins us tonight, we're gonna have a great night. I want to say hi. So anyway, he goes on here. He doesn't say much as we go. Yeah, let's see if I can find them spots. Oh, come on. We're gonna have computer's a little bit slow. Come on.
It's interesting that he's got the map of Crimea right behind him there.
Little people, you know, the small people, small cells.
Yep.
And what was going on, you know, and it surprised me. Even this first chapter here, it talks about it. King Og and Nimrod were actually brothers.
Yes. Yes, because they were all giants. They were all of one race. Does that not tell you something? It's like we're all of one race, regardless if you're black, white, Indian, Chinese, Mexican, whatever. We are of one race. It doesn't matter if you. You don't want to listen to me talking, but anyway, you know, like I said, he got there, and at the end of these shows, he finally started. I'll play another one a little later, as soon as this thing catches up, because I got too many windows up. And there's Trina. Trina's in the house.
Oh, cool.
Anyway, before we get too long in the tooth for tonight, thank you everybody for coming and showing up. We've had a great show. We're going to do a lot more on this and study the King Book Og. And in the meantime, I don't have a PDF, so go buy your own book. It's on eBay and Amazon and wherever you can find it. Like I said, go to the bookstore. It'll be great. Thank you, everybody. Remember, be the frequency you want to receive. I love you all. Peace, everybody.
I love you too. Peace.
He was always so good about that, you know. He was like, love you, brother. I love you. Peace. You know, prosperity among y'all. You know.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Lucky Stone.
Had a big prosperity something. Yeah, that he would always rattle on. Yeah.
I know what that is. I know what that is, Lucky Stone. That's hecklefish.
You know hecklefish?
Yes, I do. Yes. No way. Yeah. No way. Yeah, that's an up-and-coming YouTube channel I only discovered about maybe 6 months ago, and he's got good content. A lot of good content. It goes deep into, you know, various mysteries, paranormal events, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think I've seen that actually somehow.
Yeah,
never heard of that one. Never heard of that one yet.
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, it's popped up on my thing somehow. Yeah.
Lucky, what's your story with ISBE? What do you?
he's a fascinating individual. A lot of times in conversations, I get lost
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
he would bring out stuff, and sometimes I couldn't follow. I mean, his stuff about, I think he was trying to get money from the government at one point, and I still don't understand what that was about. I would love to have known more. And there was something else he was talking about at one point. He was doing some kind of medicinal stuff, but it was it with mushrooms or something?
Yep.
And again, I lost track. I really I would love to have paid better attention, but sometimes he would just go off.
Mhm.
Yeah. He was really he thought mushrooms were gonna cure him, and he
Yep.
was working hard to get those mushrooms, and he was taking as many as he could, and then he kept thinking that the government was trying to kill him at these places because they were making him eat that unhealthy food. But he was doing that 1099 or 10 something
Yep.
something,
Mhm.
and that was it was one of those things where it was a lot of paperwork, but he was real patient, and I gotta hand it to him. For somebody who didn't really know paperwork or know how to do that, he was doing the best he could, and he was learning a lot, and he was trying to share it with all of us.
Yep.
He never did get to the end because the government's so slow. He says it's sitting in a pile in some IRS office somewhere, and that's that.
That was probably how it works. You can get your money if you can live long enough for it to actually get it. And unfortunately, that's what happened.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
there we go. Trina knows. He was accessing his trust. But
Mhm.
I think we all can access it. That's what he was trying to tell us.
Yep.
And but he you got to go through all these hoops and fill out all these papers and have somebody, like he was trying to get the car agent to, be the sponsor or something, and then the guy has to fill out papers, and then he went and test drove all. Oh man, I remember him calling me and telling me all about the truck and this Ford or whatever, and it was the nicest. I bet you it was the nicest vehicle he ever drove. I mean, and I feel bad for him because he never really had. I always thought, man, here's this guy. He's so nice, and he never really had a good job that made a lot of money. He always worked, lesser jobs, but that doesn't make you a lesser person.
Mhm.
He was 100% person, and he might have had one of those jobs where he's flipping burgers or working at, the grocery store or something like that. But he was 100%er, that's for sure. He was the guy that he kept telling me he used to take money. He didn't get much money, and he would go down to the homeless were and give them food. And I'm thinking, you can't even support yourself, and you're going out and giving them food. Well, yeah.
Mhm.
So now that's a person. We're all
Mhm.
too greedy, I guess.
Well, no, actually, he had a great idea, because if you can accept and you can appreciate giving to others, it will come
Mhm.
back to you. It doesn't make any sense how it happens, but if you believe, it will come back to you. I've done it, but of course, I lost faith, and it only works once in a while. But yeah, if you can be, you know, I mean, I have a homeless guy who lives in the woods behind my house, not behind my house, but near me. And I've helped him out a few times, and he's been very appreciative. Really nice guy. And some stuff popped up that I got extra money somehow that I never expected. I was like, how did that happen? This is impossible. It's just
Mhm.
weird things like that will happen. So he did teach me one thing, being generous even when it might be a little tight.
Yeah, he lived by his own moral values, and he stuck to them. Kind
Yeah.
of. Yeah, I endorse that fully. Yeah, personally, I've never judged anybody based on stuff, superficial stuff like economics or, financial status or anything like that. Just I
Mhm.
only judge people based on how they conduct themselves with respect to me. I know that's kind of selfish, but
Mhm.
is there a better metric?
Well,
don't know.
actually, that actually does work because the golden rule, do unto others as you
Yeah.
as you would do unto others as you would do unto yourself.
Mhm.
That's a two-edged sword where if you are generous to others, you've got to expect the others to be generous to you. You can't accept them being selfish because
Yeah.
it's a balancing act, and we miss that. We want to be generous to others, but sacrifice ourselves, and we go, why is everything screwed up for me? Well, because you are sacrificing yourself too much.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. This is true. That's an interesting point. Yeah.
It took me a long time to get that one, and I was thinking, and it's like it's a two-edged sword.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. It's the law of karma and the law of dharma, and both of them are like fundamental laws of the universe. And it's
Absolutely.
yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, he did live by his code, you know. I mean, and he wasn't that old. I mean, I was surprised because I thought for sure he was this really old guy with the beard and stuff. And I think he was like 62 or 61 or 62. He
Oh
wasn't
my
that
God.
old.
Wow.
Yeah, you know, and then when
Mm.
he's got the brain cancer and lung cancer. I almost couldn't believe it. And then until he got his leg thing, because he didn't want to go to the hospital.
Mhm.
He just fought that and fought that.
Yeah, because being in a hospital is basically hell on earth. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been hospitalized twice for food poisoning, or I should say salmonella, and it was not fun. No.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I would do anything to stay away from that place, if at all possible. You only go to the hospital when, like, there's literally no option left.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, I know hospitals are not the thing and nobody wants to really go, but hey,
Mm-mm. No.
it's and he was fighting it tooth and nail, I tell you. Oh
Mm-hmm.
man. And I wish I would have recorded some of his stuff. And there's Grandpa Brian.
There he is.
He finally made it back on. Grandpa, hey,
Dropping in.
Brian, how you doing? Since we got you back on
Hey, how you doing?
before something goes wrong, tell us your story with ISBE.
All right. Ken was actually from Northwest Kentucky. He was only about an hour and 45 minutes away from the cabin. So
That's
he
why I
came up
was
two
saying
different
that.
weekends.
Mm-hmm.
Came
Yeah.
up two different
Yeah.
weekends and we got to hang out.
Nice.
First
So,
weekend, I think it was Saturday night, we ate about 3 grams of mushrooms apiece and sat out by the campfire and meditated and looked at the stars and all that. Second time he came up, I grounded up 17 grams of mushrooms and ran it through the coffee pot twice. And me, him, and another person basically drank that whole coffee pot. And
wow.
we didn't, I think we both went on a journey that night because I know there was a period in time I was out of my body for about 2.5 hours. And I know it was the same for him because he wasn't talking. Normally Ken's motor mouth, but man, he was a hell of a guy. I actually physically got to hug him. So that was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Like I said in the beginning, all he wanted to do, he kept talking about is, wanting to come out and get in his van and pretty sell off everything and just go visit everybody. I think he kind of knew the end days were coming for him, but if he wouldn't have broke his leg or femur or whatever he broke, he would have done it. He would have jumped in there and trucked on all over the place. I told him he's more than welcome here anytime.
Yeah, that's right. I remember. Yeah, he was even saying he would come and visit me. That was back when I still had room left over here in this place. But yeah,
he would have. That's
and see,
what you want to do most.
that's the thing. I think a lot of Americans should really make the journey and see Europe before it's gone.
Yeah, and it might be gone quick at the rate they're going.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I don't.
You know, the United
after-
States. I know the United States because I lived there for half my life. I lived there for 27 years, so not much for me to learn there.
Yeah. Well, you know, the last time after World War II, they rebuilt everything, as far
Yep.
as I know.
Mm-hmm.
And you think after World War III, they'll come back and rebuild it all again? I think everybody will be broken out of money by that time.
Yeah, quite
You know,
possibly. Yeah.
and the thing is now this war will be a different. This is a whole different subject, but you know, we might be rebuilding ourselves too. Put it that way. Let's see. What? Okay, I got another video here pulled up, and we'll just play a little bit of this. Usually, the beginnings and the end is where he did the most talking, besides the reading. And I can't go through the whole video and pick out stuff. It's just way too much. So here we go. I think you can see that. Here we go. And 4 and 5. And a 6, and you're going live. You're live, and welcome to another day in the Milky Way. And here we are tonight with my co-host ISBE. Thank you for coming, and we are going to be doing a great book, King Og, the Lost Book of King Og. Welcome. Thanks, ISBE. What do you got going on tonight?
Awesome night.
Yes, awesome night. Awesome night. I brought the popcorn and chips. The chips and dip here. There we go. I'm all ready for this one tonight. It's a good one. There we go. We're going to do King Og. We got people will be piling in here in a little bit. We got Deborah Sloan. So what have you been up to this week? While everybody's coming on in, we got Loretta Igma, and we got Linda Brooks, who's going to be on the show here sooner or later. Thank you, Linda Brooks. I got to send you another letter. She is awesome. So anyway, I got
with my phone or turns in the fire, brother.
The car. Okay, so there you go. Sorry. There we go.
Don't worry, we will be back next week where we'll continue where we left off. And so what I want you all to do is go over to ISBE Speaks and sign up. Get him some subscribers over there. He's going to do some shows. I'm going to come on his show tomorrow. He's going to try. We're going to try it, and he's going to do a live show, and we're going to be on there for a little bit. I don't know what we're talking about or what we're going to discuss.
This is going to be interesting.
But it's going to be a first time for him going live on his own channel. So sign up. Join us there tomorrow. We'll probably be there early, around probably, 6 or 7 Central Time, maybe? Something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, we'll do it. We're going to do it a little early.
Irons in the fire, brother.
Yeah.
And when you get so many irons, you're reading about a whole bunch of different subjects, all right?
Yeah. Well,
studying a whole bunch of different things. It kind of makes you scatterbrain.
Oh, you pick out something. We'll talk about something. Yeah, Max G in the house. Thank you for coming. Like I said, pick out something good. We'll talk about for a little while. We'll get absolutely. So go over to
Hamlet or whatever. Going down the highway in my RV someday.
That's right.
Helping homeless people get off the street with a 1099A.
That's right. That's what you're gonna do. Mary Wins was in the house. Hello, Mary Wins. When Mary wins, we all win. We win. Thanks, Mary. You send me lots of stuff on the messenger, and I appreciate each and every one of the things you send. And anyway, thank you, everyone. I appreciate you all too. Remember what I always say: be the frequency you want to receive. I love you all, everybody. Peace.
Prosperity is upon us all together.
2, 3, and 4, and there we go. Wow, the prosperity. I love how he raises his hand and did his thing. You know. Oh man, and we got Max Vision joining us.
Hey, what's up?
Hi guys, how you doing?
Great.
Always good. I thought I'd come and pay my respects to ISBE. That's an awesome man. Well, he will be missed.
Yeah. Yes, you will. So do you have any stories? He came over to your channel there and participated a few
Yeah, he
times,
did
didn't
a
he?
lot in class. Yeah, he interacted quite a bit, but with class, uh, yeah, he just in the chat though. Um, he was a fairly decent remote viewer, as I think most people are actually. But yeah, he will be missed in class. He added to our knowledge, and he used to come by chats and interact and add his knowledge. And I tell you, every warrior we go that goes down is missed. You know,
Hey, that's one more friend on the other side that because
that's
we're all
true.
going to the same place.
It's the
So
selfish part in me. You know, I'll miss
I
him
know.
right now. You know,
Yeah.
it is the selfish part. But you know, hey, I'm only a living, so
Yeah. Got to make do with what we got when we
yeah.
got it where we are right now. Because I got a lot of people on the other side.
Yeah. Well, he was always working on himself. I mean, he had the time. He was a good person. Took care of his mother, even though they got in a lot of arguments and stuff like that. But I remember him saying, "I'm leaving. I can't handle her," and then he'd go back. Took her back, and she got no place to go. you know, and but yeah, he was always good about stuff. I mean, he drove her all. I remember him calling me and FaceTiming me or something from the car or whatever, and he's got his mother out there. He loved to talk on the phone. He would talk to you for hours. Sometimes it was a little hard to understand him because maybe he had a few mushrooms or something, or maybe he had a little weed or something. But other than that, he was pretty good. I'd call him on my way home from work, see what was up. Haven't heard from him in a while or something, so but yeah, he's a good guy all around. I think to everybody. I don't think he was always friendly in the chats, wasn't he?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
That's how I remember him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yes. So anyway, let's see. What did you think? I mean, what do you think Busy Bee would be? I mean, he crossed over to the other side, and this is, when I first heard that he passed, I kind of thought, yeah, I kind of felt like I was expecting that. Hadn't heard from a little while, but I've been sad for the last few days about it, and I almost didn't want to do the show tonight. I posted this quite late because I didn't I was really torn, to talk about one of our Soul Tribe members passing, and then I thought, no, he would have told me, "Come on, man, let's share the love,"
He's
and
probably watching this right now.
yeah, and
Yeesh.
finally, half the day went by, and I got to buck up and do this. Don't quit. I can't quit. I can't just post a video and call it a day and just go my way or whatever. You know what I mean? And
I just wish I had gotten to know him better. That's all. I had no
yeah.
idea that he was that sick. It was only recently that I found out that he had like brain cancer. I'm like, oh my god, that's a tough one. That's
Yeah. Brain cancer's like, well, you ain't coming back from that.
yeah.
I mean, and I think he's right. I mean, I guess if it was me, I don't think I'd be wanting to what do you call it, go through all that chemo and treatments and stuff to prolong your life a few more weeks or something. Really,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know about cancer much. Lucky, you know anything about cancer?
Yeah, my wife went through breast cancer.
Yeah.
I've got friends with pancreatic cancer, and that's a death sentence.
Yes,
Pancreatic
and
cancer is death sentence. That's
Yep.
it. Unfortunately, there isn't much you could do about that. But
yeah,
he's one of those people who would before healthy, work out all the time. Did have to go through the situation that we all were forced to do, the government thing. But he was a healthy person before, and now, he said he would never go through all the stuff. But now he's going through all the cancer, chemo, and everything like that, and he's less of a man now. He's gone from a muscle builder so quickly
yeah.
to thin. It's wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, cancer's a weird thing, and honestly, my experience with cancer is that sometimes far too often the treatment is far worse than the disease.
I've heard that so many times.
I cannot believe it because
Yep.
yes, they had the cancer, they got the surgery, they got most of it removed. They're still, and then what the thing is that they say, oh, we don't want to come back. Oh, we got it all removed, but we don't want to come back. So here's the chemo, here's the radiation, and here's the second chemo.
Yeah.
The people are
I've heard that people have better outcomes going for alternative methods, alternative
Totally agree.
treatments.
Yes, they
it
do.
is absolutely amazing. It's
Yeah.
absolutely amazing. And
I have
and
two examples that work with me. Two people who had family members that went for alternative treatments, alkalizing, that whole thing,
Mhm.
and with mushroom therapy and that, and they turned it around. Now, I don't know which types of cancers they were. There are some that are so aggressive that they may be beyond treatment, but most of them seem to be treatable outside of the medical system.
well, I
This is not medical advice, but just giving you the disclaimer there.
worked in the beginning of my career. I worked for a company that made a cancer treatment for non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is another death sentence, where you have it, you treated for it, you go through all the chemo and everything, and within 3 to 5 years, it comes back. This therapy, it was called a therapy. They used the patient's own cancer cells, and they made an amalgam with mouse cells so that whenever the cancer came back, the body recognized it right away. And it was a 99.8% success rate. The problem was it was a small company, and the FDA wanted more clinical trials to prove its efficacy. The company couldn't afford it. They had a 99.8% success rate for a therapy for non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. The
Yeah,
idea was they could use it for other therapies, and it shut it all down.
Mm.
And I lost my job.
of
And that was when I
course.
learned so quickly that the FDA it's a racket.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
had
Yeah, you don't
everything
think they
right.
could have found a few extra dollars to fund something that would be such a benefit?
Oh,
You know?
the thing is, the company bought it from the government itself because the government can't profit from it. So they had started this process. There was a doctor who started this, so they bought it, and and they basically the idea was that they would finish the second and the second and third, get it over the goalposts, all done. FDA goes, yeah, there's a few holes here in the first phase. And like, yeah, but we bought it at the second, third phase. So the first phase, that was a government thing. Yeah, but they because it was a government company, government organization, they skipped some things. And the FDA says, no, you got to redo the first phase. And like, but we're on the second and third phase. It was the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I can talk about this. This isn't going to be because the company's gone, and
Yeah.
there's proof that it was a success for non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and we're going to use it for so many different kinds of. It was such a great drug too. I was so excited. We were going to be. It wasn't about millionaires. It was about we were feeling something that was going to cure people.
Yeah.
And then it was like, sorry everybody,
Mhm.
we're shutting the company down. We can't afford to go any further with this. And I'm like, but it's successful. We're saving people. We save people from the United States. We save people from Russia who couldn't afford it. We save people from Romania because we needed more. We had to go through cheap, and the Russians and Romanians were able to to we were basically taking cells from Romania, from Russia, which is impossible to get it so fast. We were treating it, sending it back again. It was such a. I'm so excited about this. It was such a
Oh man,
phenomenal project.
so disappointing too that they shut it down, right? You know,
And then
because
of course now
they don't want a cure. They only want treatments.
Yeah,
that's the thing. This thing took the treatment off the table. It took the treatments off the table. And I mean, my wife's still going through what she went through. She had all the cells removed. She did the chemotherapy. She did the radiation, and now she's taking this thing twice a day. Which I'm against. I don't think she should continue because it's not about taking any cancer away. She's cured. The thing is that here's the thing about this drug. She's getting it for free. We couldn't afford it. The insurance company wasn't going to pay for it. But they said, oh, we'll give it to you for free. And she was so happy. Oh, they're going to give me this drug for free. And I said, wait, stop. Why are they giving it to you for free? Oh, no, it's a generous thing. It's a generosity thing. They're trying to help. I looked into it. Asians are a very small minority who get breast cancer, and even then a smaller amount returns. So they give her this drug, and again, she has a high likelihood of it never coming back. They can use her part of the clinical study saying, hey, look, another one who never got the breast cancer back. Again.
It's gerrymandering the numbers, yeah.
That's all it is. So this is a cancer, and Ken was right. I mean, the treatment's far worse than the disease itself.
Yeah. I've heard that said so many times. I mean, in April, I myself was diagnosed with emphysema, and I opted. I basically used the medical system for what it's best, diagnosis, because I don't trust the medical establishment whatsoever. And like I tell people, my faith is a lot stronger than my belief in science. So I've opted to continue down the road of like alternative medicine, vitamins, herbs, minerals, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
80%
of all disease, like the severity of the disease, is created by the mind.
Yeah.
The mind is a very powerful thing.
It's the truth. It is getting out in the sun and taking a walk is one of the best you could do, and doctors rarely tell people to do that. No, take this drug, take this med. Heart disease and cholesterol, those things, just by taking enough of a walk outside, will get your body running, working much more things, and cleaning up your own system by itself. Drinking clean water. They tell you, don't drink deionized water. Well, yes and no. It will take your minerals out, but there are ways to put the minerals back in a healthier way. Balancing act. We can do much better job in the medical establishment, but we just don't.
Yep. Did you know that there are many different types of colloidal metal? They have all of the levels that are optimal worked out for racehorses. But they do not have the optimal levels worked out for human beings.
I wonder why.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, racehorses a racehorse costs more than a house these days, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. Amber Dawn.
And racehorse, and I should point out the fact that racehorses don't have health insurance.
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
Yeah. Amber Dawn, you're here. What do you got to say about ISBE?
Well, he's always been very supportive of me and my channel. He disappeared like shortly after everything started going. So I'm assuming that's because he was sick. And I just want to say that I just feel really happy for him that he gets to be out of pain and he doesn't have to worry about this stuff in this life anymore. And he gets to move on to a new chapter. And, we'll see him again. And I'm sure he'll visit many of us tonight, and say hello and thank you for, all joining up and for this memorial for me. And appreciated him as just being somebody who was super supportive and willing to learn and to teach. And I don't know, I feel happy for him because I know how devastating lung and brain cancer is. And, you know, personally, I would rather pass on too if I had brain cancer. And, I'm sad that we lost another one, but I feel happy for him at the same time. So it's kind of mixed emotions for me right now.
Yeah, I totally agree with what Trina said about that book that she mentioned, Dead Doctors Don't Lie. Excellent read. It's a short book. I highly recommend it. And to address what was said in the chat about the fluoride-based oral care products, I haven't used toothpaste since about 1990 because I knew even back then how deadly fluoride was. Well, you don't need a toothpaste. All you need is the brush. Personally, I use, what do you call it? Baking soda. That's all.
Eggshells for me.
Yeah, or eggshells you could use. Yeah.
Actually, baking soda is an amazing thing. It's so cheap. It's so useful. In a tiny amount in your water, it just does so good for your body. And it just, how can you, there's no, it costs 99 cents for a box this big, and you're using a pinch in water. Like,
yeah, and that's what was it? Edgar Casey. He did his visions and things, and if you want to learn more about Edgar Casey, go over to Stars in the Morning Light. Courtney's putting on a good show of reading from him and telling his story. But that was one of the things he said is take a pinch of baking soda 2 or 3 times a week, and that'll keep you healthy and alive. And I thought, really? So,
you know what's really weird? I remember what Lucky said about like the price of baking soda in the United States. It's ridiculously inexpensive, but here in Europe, for whatever reason, it's super expensive. It's like $1 for a little pack like this big.
Wow!
For a little bag of it. Yeah. I have no idea why it's so expensive. So yeah, I've been forced to get it wholesale through, back channels like eBay and stuff like that.
Yeah, I started buying it. It was like all natural baking soda for like $4 for a tin, and my wife points out, what is all natural baking soda? It's like, what makes it different than Arm & Hammer? And I didn't have an answer for her.
No, Arm & Hammer is good enough.
But this is it says it's all natural. I fell for it. Marketing.
It's just like when they say that coffee is mountain grown. Well, guess what? Coffee only grows on mountaintops. Okay, doesn't grow anywhere else.
This is true. It's crazy how some of the simplest, cheapest things are some of the best things for us, and we just seem to ignore it.
Garlic, vitamin C.
Oh yeah. I'll be careful how I say this. There's a medication, apparently there's a medication for hairballs, we'll call it, that they were giving out free to the public around. And it's a hairball medication, so there's shedding involved, if you know what I mean. From one dog to another dog, or one cat to another cat. One of the most effective things that I've recently come across is to take eggs, 1 egg a day, and NAC. That's 3 capital letters, NAC. It's cheap, easily available. Eggs are cheap and easily available. This will help with the hairballs that can form in your bloodstream.
Well, it's actually the wooden stake that you need for the vampires. Right?
Yes. I've seen some success stories with this combination, so I just wanted to get that out there.
Yep. So anyway, let's see here. I got another clip. We're gonna play this one here. Share screen, and then.
And I have to duck out. I have class. So
okay, thanks, Max, for coming, everybody.
Yeah.
Go
Cheers.
go over there. Post your link in the comments before you leave, and we'll be heading over there shortly after we get done here tonight.
Take
But
your
thanks
time.
for all you do. Thanks for all
Yeah.
you do. I appreciate.
Thanks for having me up, and thanks to ISBE for all he gave to our lives and contributed. And thank you to you all. One love. Bye-bye.
Okay. Well, and here we go. Another clip. See what this one's got. And it says going live and 1, 2. You're live. Hello and welcome to another day in the Milky Way. We're right about on time. We thought we were going to have lots of problems, but we got them all fixed in the nick of time. Yes. By gosh, here we go.
Going live and 1, 2.
Okay, ISBE, you got to shut the other one off. You got to shut your speaker off. You're right about on time. We thought we were going to have lots of problems, but we got them all fixed in the nick of time. Yes, by gosh, here we go. ISBE, you gotta shut your other stuff off. The other one off. You gotta shut your speaker off. You're right about on time.
Yeah, I got 2 speakers on, don't I?
Yes, shut your speaker off.
Wait, no, it's on 2.
Yes, you got to do something there. All technical difficulties, people. There we go. There we go.
Oh,
Okay, don't worry, people. ISBE's getting this stuff together.
I got 3 different accounts.
Don't worry about that now. Welcome everybody. Welcome to another. You gotta use your eyes. Og. We're gonna pick up 5 degrees. Atlantis. We are really in Atlantis. It is one cool book. Well, maybe we can. And I am lucky. No.
They had like a CERN, you know, and they were opening up other dimensions and allowing these beings to fly through these portals.
Well, maybe they were giants too, you know, because like King Og here, he talks about all this. You know, he always had that music playing in the background.
Yeah.
He did. He always had. He told me he used to play that all the time. Let's go to the end where he'd say goodbye. It's like fluorescent yellow. That's it. So it's red and fluorescent yellow. Thank you very much. Okay, all is good. We got to go. There'll be Johnny Friday. Okay, so
well, I sure appreciate everyone. I love you all. Much favor always be upon you. Prosperity, all of us together.
And that is right. And with that, remember, everybody, be the frequency you want to receive. I love you all. Peace, everybody. And that was that. You gotta love it. He was getting better. That was like the 3rd episode that we had for King Og in the Book of Giants. And you could see his transformation, how he started out with like how should I say, very uncomfortable in the beginning, and then I kind of convinced him, hey, loosen up. And that first show we taped because he was so nervous, didn't know how to do it. But then by the end, the last show we did, he was just in it. He was like, what book can we do next? I want to do another one. I want to have a channel. And so he started this new channel, ISBE Speaks. And he was posting some shows that we did over there. And oh man, he was loving it. And then all of a sudden things started going downhill for him, and he just couldn't keep up with the shows, and his computer was breaking, and you know, and I don't know if that had something to do with his mind being affected by things, or if it was really his computer. You know what I mean?
Could be. I mean, yeah, cancer is a horrible disease. I mean, most recently, my brother passed away from cancer 3 years ago. He had kidney cancer. From diagnosis to death, 3.5 months.
Wow.
Yeah. So that kind of like took us all by surprise, big time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
which is strange because kidney cancer is not really exactly common. But my uncle also died of kidney cancer, so I
Wow.
guess it runs in the family or something.
Yeah, well, and see, that's the thing too, is like cancer is just nothing to, I mean, when you get it, like we were saying about the treatments, do you try and do all those treatments, or do you say screw it, and this, it's not like breast cancer, that they kind of got to the point where maybe they can kind of cure it, or they can remove one or something, but when you get some of that stuff, it's like brain cancer or bone cancer or pancreatic cancer. Dude, you're done. You might as well just live out your life, have a good time, and do the things you want, because you're going to end up in the same box at the end, and it ain't going to be very long.
Yeah, because like the pancreas and the brain are both essential organs, but the breast is not an essential organ, I guess.
Yeah, there's some things you can do without. I mean, I've seen people where they got their leg or their foot or something cut off. They can get skin removed or something for some of that stuff. But, I don't know much about a lot of that, but I think in the end, it's, you're done.
Well, one of my good friends had cancer when he was a teen, when we were both teens, and he had sarcoma, and he was treated for about, I don't know, something like 6 years before he got his operation done. And when they did the operation, they had to remove like half of his pelvis. So, he's missing half a pelvis. So he's trained himself to be able to walk without a cane. But he walks like if you didn't know the backstory, you would think that he was severely drunk. But no, it's because he's just missing a pelvis, and that bone, the leg bone, has nothing to hold it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but he's a fighter.
At the strength to be able to do that. That's an amazing feat. That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. I mean, to keep going, and then I'm surprised they didn't figure out a way to put something in there to make him a pelvis.
Yeah, I don't know, but he was in his teens, which means that would have been like 40 years ago, and he's still cancer free.
Wow. Yeah. Well, like I said, sometimes they can, if it's something that's curable, they can kind of get, but there's other ones, like I said, you get that pancreatic cancer or brain or bone or something like that. Yeah, you're looking at, you might as well start planning for the end. Not to wish anybody bad, but you better come up with something, because you don't have long to figure it out. And most people don't. They don't figure, they always just, I think, in a way, they just go to the doctor. The doctor tells them what to do. And I see that people that get cancer, that's very fearful. And when you're fearful, your body doesn't want to fight disease, because it's trying to run from the fear. Not combat.
There's also a different mechanism at work, because the body goes into a fear response. There's an attempt to make the physician responsible, as if the physician is responsible for your health. I'm like, no, you're responsible for your own health, not the physician.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people do it to themselves too, by eating badly, not taking care of themselves, not getting enough sleep, putting themselves in dangerous situations, people who smoke or drink too much or things like that, chemicals they use, and then they don't want to stop. They keep right on doing. I mean, I've seen those people carrying around oxygen, with them, and still smoking and puffing the cigarette, and they're and then they're puffing, and then, well, doctor will cure me, or I'll just die when I die. He'll give me more oxygen next week. Really? Is it what?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is what it is. And I think all you guys, like, Grandpa Brian, you smoke, Delbor, you smoke, but and and you get emphysema, well, you know, you're your own worst enemy.
Well, see, the reason, the way I figure is I've minimized or I've cut out all the other bad things in my life. You know, I
Yeah.
pretty much, you could say, eat healthy. I avoid all these unnatural chemicals. I don't take any drugs. I don't drink alcohol. So, you know, smoking, you could say, is my only vice, and
Yeah.
I've never been able to get rid of it. You know,
Yeah.
I'm just that addicted.
Well, and here's the thing. It's not that you smoke, I think. It's the stuff that's in the cigarettes themselves, the chemicals.
Yeah. Yep.
Uh,
That's why you should never smoke like flavored cigarettes like menthol or light cigarettes, because those lightening agents actually are more carcinogenic than the tobacco itself. And you know, it's not the nicotine component that's carcinogenic. True, nicotine is a poison, and it's an insect repellent, but it's not a carcinogen. It's the tar component that's carcinogenic. So basically, you want to smoke the most powerful cigarettes you can get your hands on, because at least that way you smoke less of them and therefore get less tar in your lungs.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, I do that Native American myths and legends, and we talk about that, and all the Indians were smoking. You know, all the guys were actually, all the guys were, everybody was smoking back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was the thing. But they weren't smoking anything with chemicals. You know, you
It's
know what
also
I mean?
interesting to note that smoking rates have gone down in the Western world, but cancer rates have gone up.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Yeah. There's too much of that. It's a big story there, and nobody's
a lot of big stories.
You can't people just can't figure it out. Grow your own tobacco. Figure out how to preserve it and smoke it yourself.
I've back when I was still a drinker, I would make my own wine and stuff like that, and I did try to grow my own tobacco. And from what I heard, it's nearly impossible, because it's almost impossible to get the seeds to sprout. But once you get that going, and you establish like a routine for doing that, then you can grow your own tobacco. And I've seen it grown. I mean, those are some huge leaves. I mean, the leaves are like this big.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you just have to figure out how to ferment them, and you know, there's a process to it all. But you know, I mean, it's not impossible. Obviously, they do grow it, and people do grow it in their backyards. You know, I mean, there's different varieties that you can grow in the upper northern regions, and you know, besides in, like, you know, southern regions like Virginia, Georgia, you know, the southern states. So it is one of those things to experiment with.
In Australia, there's more legal penalties involved in growing your own tobacco than there is in growing your own weed.
Really?
Yes.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
So tobacco is like banned.
Essentially banned. And in New Zealand, they passed a law where you have to be born, not a certain age, but born on or after a certain date. In other words, as time goes on, you're going to have to get older and older. You're going to have to prove you're like over 60 to buy cigarettes in New Zealand.
Wow.
They basically want to phase it out completely. But, you know, that's kind of short-sighted, because the vast majority of what you pay for cigarettes is actually taxes. It's a huge source of tax revenue for governments.
Yep. Yes, it is. Wow. Well, and I'm sure the smoking, you know, cigarette companies and tobacco companies have something to say about all that too. So, but anyway, we're going to wrap this up, because I'm sure everybody wants to go over to Max Vision, check out things over there. Maybe he'll remote view, you know, if ISBE made it to the other side or something. I don't know if that's even a thing. Nina, you've been awful quiet. That's a good question for you.
She's muted.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
what's the question? Sorry.
Robert, you're muted now.
Yeah, I was gonna like, am I going crazy or what's going on here? He
Robert,
froze. I think.
He froze. I think Robert's gone.
Oh yeah, I think he froze.
Over then, because I'm not driving the bus.
Yeah, I think the show is over.
Let's give it a sec.
Yeah.
I was thinking he was, Nina.
That's
if
weird.
ISBE is crossed over.
I guess that was the sign.
Yeah.
Wow.
that was
okay.
that was Isbee's sign to say he was here.
Right
You
on.
notice
What were you
he
going to
went.
ask me?
I was going to ask and say, is it possible? That was my question. Is it possible to know if Isbee made it across, or if he's still lurking around, or what's if we could get anything from him? He always loved a card pull or something. You know how he loved that. Oh
Yeah.
man.
So
Yeah.
from my understanding with it is that they do usually hang around for quite a while, like a few weeks, especially until their estates and everything is dealt with, everything, funeral. So yeah, they do hang around at the funeral. So they, if you guys are doing memorials and you guys, the people are watching. They are, it's not going into vain. And I know that for a fact because my aunt was with me for quite a while. A couple 3 months after she passed, she was with me like all the time, and it was quite neat because she didn't quite believe in the stuff that I do. She was, Christian kind of thing, right? So that was really neat to have her around me and communicate with me, and I know that she's rooting for me, and she was there like physically, for a good 2-3 months after she passed, and then eventually they do go over there, yeah. So no doubt that Isbee is here with us right now. I can just hear his laugh.
I think him shutting off the thing. I've never had that problem on this in like forever, and all of a sudden, on my screen, all you guys went blank everywhere, and then we came back on, and I think that might have been, if I was gonna say, I would say that was him telling us.
That's quite possible. Yeah, that probably was. I mean, what else can he do to get our attention, right?
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah. I know he's watching.
yeah.
So but I appreciate everybody for coming tonight and join us in our little remembrance of Isbee. Not like I said in the beginning, I was having a struggle with it today and yesterday about what to do, and if I even wanted to come on tonight, and then finally I was just pushed, and it just felt like I needed to do it, and here I am, and I'm thinking, well, I'm glad I did. I had to remember to myself that it's not it's a mourning for us living, but it's a celebration to see him cross over, and now he's over there, and maybe he can help us from the other side, along with our brother Brian Barnett, who's crossed over here in July, and we miss him so much. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be on. I'd just be coming on a Saturday night, and now here I am, and maybe this was his way where I was supposed to be. I don't know, but I thank him for getting me started, and I thank Isbee for all the stuff and being my friend. That was a big thing, being my friend.
Absolutely, yeah. Everything has a meaning and a reason behind it, so there's no doubt that there's a reason why you're here and taking over the show, and and they are definitely doing the work on the other side, for sure. There's a lot more work probably to be done over there that is done over there than it is here, so absolutely, we got another one in our army over there now, so just look at it that way,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Brian left us on the 3rd of July 2020. Wow.
So that's 3 years now. Yeah, 3 years ago.
3 years. Yeah,
So
amazing
long.
how fast. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was never on Brian's show, but I was supposed to be on one of his upcoming shows, and I was in email contact with him because I was interested in that prayer that he had covered, that Ho'oponopono, I believe it's called, that Hawaiian prayer.
Yeah.
That was the thing we couldn't pronounce last week.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, still can't.
So,
wow.
Yeah. Had he lived a bit longer, I would have been on one of his shows. Yeah. Never made it there.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, that was let's see if I can get to this one here. Let's do this little bit, and then we are going to be out of here. So let's just share the screen here and do one last one. ISBE sending us home. Oops. There we go. Share.
PDF. Odin.
Oh, Odin, yes.
Yeah.
And you're gonna read from that, aren't you, on your channel now? Absolutely good. Okay, well, any last words for our last show tonight?
Ain't gonna be our last show. We're gonna have another show.
Well, we'll have another one. I mean, the King Og show.
Yeah, the last one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I sure appreciate everybody coming. Love you all. Favor and prosperity be upon us all together. Thank you.
And I think that's as best as it could be said. Best as it could be said.
Agreed.
Well, with that, ISBE, you know, I hope you have a good trip, and I'll see you on the other side. I will see you on the other side. And I know all of us will be looking forward to seeing him, and we'll all miss him. So remember, everybody, thank you all for coming tonight. Everybody that was in the chat. It was really nice.
Don't forget tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get to that.
Augie coming on.
Yeah, Augie is coming on. We're going to be over on Nina the Mystic's channel, and we are going to be doing our last spiritual science show with Augie. Augie Noss will be coming on. So join
Bring
us
your
over
questions,
there.
everybody.
Yes, and I think you could they were posting some of them in Discord. Not Discord. What's that? Gilded. Yes.
Yeah, join us up on Gilded, everybody.
Yes, Nina will post a link in the chat here, and go over there, post your question over there, or send Nina the question in an email, or me. It doesn't matter. We'll both get it to him, and we're gonna have questions. Go through the book. This will be our last one on this book, so this is your last chance to talk to Augie. So, or talk to him, ask him questions, things like that. I know I'm going to be asking some questions, probably about, crossing over to the other side. Speaking, being ISBE's God. So, with all of that, join us there tomorrow. It'd be, it'd be, what is it? 8 o'clock Central Time, be 9 o'clock Eastern Time, and 6 o'clock Pacific Time. Am I not right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yes,
that is correct. I got a lot of times over there. So anyway, with that, everybody, thank you all for coming. It's been really wonderful getting together, reminiscing about ISBE. I appreciate each and every one of you, and we will meet him again on the other side. So remember, everybody, be the frequency you want to receive. Love you all, everybody. Peace, everybody.
Peace.